so this video is going to be about my Autohistoria, which is the term that Gloria Anzaldúa uses to describe the genre of writing about one's personal and collective history. Today, my personal and collective history is going to be about my experiences in Professor Ramirez Carter's or Mrs. B's English 1301 class. First, I'll talk about how I learned how to read academic texts. It's my first semester in college, so it comes without saying that I started off not knowing how to read college-level texts. Mrs. B assured us that early on in the semester that she was aware of this fact. I learned that not having a complete understanding on the first reading of the text is absolutely fine, and a lot of people actually don't fully understand the text the first time reading it through. I learned how to reread certain parts of text, and I began to look up difficult vocabulary in order to actually understand it. Mrs. B taught us this in class and through our Blackboard discussions. She would ask us what we didn't understand, and then she would try to break it down little by little so that at the end of the class we could actually have an understanding of the text. On Blackboard, in our reading responses, she would encourage us to write about what we actually didn't understand, and honestly, just writing about what you don't understand could potentially help you comprehend the text. Because of these experiences, simply put, I became a better reader. I started to understand the course readings in English 1301 and in my other classes, such as my philosophy class or my music world culture class. That's because we were actually given really tough readings this semester, or some tough readings such as Cedillo's and Anzaldúa's. Next up, I will talk about what I learned about writing about myself. Contrary to what I learned in high school, I learned that writing about your personal experiences in an academic context is actually okay. I learned this from our second project instructions, in which Mrs. B actually encouraged us to write about ourselves. Additionally, the readings that we did by Anzaldúa and Cedillo helped me realize that it's fine, if not better, to write about yourself academically. Because of this, I started to put more of my personal experiences into my writing, and it helped me understand how important one's identity really is. Eventually, these experiences actually made me more comfortable in my own skin. Finally, I'll tell you about what I learned in revising and getting/giving feedback. I learned that I shouldn't expect to have a perfect first draft, as most people's first draft actually isn't perfect, and that the feedback that I received is a good way to understand how an outside audience would see my work. I also learned that I shouldn't be too nice when giving feedback to my friends, because from a quote that we read, it says, "Friends don't let friends turn in bad papers." I learned this from the summer's reading, the in-class discussions, and the in-class workshops that we would do for our projects. The impact that learning this has on me is that I began revising my writing as I was going, kind of like I was speaking or talking, because Summers actually suggested that in the reading. I also began to be more critical of my group's or partners' papers when it came to peer reviewing. I also became more critical outside of classes, because I would look at a song that my friend made and be a little bit more critical, or like my friends that dance, I could see what they could have done better. Overall, at the end, you're just trying to help them become better. So that was a quick rundown of what I learned throughout the year. Honestly, that's not even half of the story there. It's just 3 of the main points that I thought were important to me, and it helped me grow as a person.